Greetings, Orphanites. Welcome back to our filmmaking vlog here at theorphanmovie.com. As always, I'm your host, Jonathan Russell, the producer, director, writer of The Orphan. Not a lot to talk about this time around, specifically regarding The Orphan. We're still kind of in a holding pattern right now, working towards our doing our shorts. Still hadn't made any progress towards that, as I mentioned in the last one. On the first short, we're kind of out until the middle of September right now, until we can do anything. As far as the others, I haven't made a lot of progress on them yet. Still looking at one of them that I've had an idea for that I like the thought of doing, and just hadn't found the information really that I've been looking for yet. This time around, I thought I'd talk about a little more. The last time I mentioned that this has kind of become my passion now. I was willing to pass up a role that was offered to me in a show. As for those of you who didn't see that one or haven't heard before, most of my experiences in acting, mostly doing theater. I've done a little bit of television, a little bit of film, and turning down a role that was offered to me without me auditioning for it was kind of went against my grain, everything I've ever thought about and believed from an acting point of view. But this is really kind of taken over that part of my life anyways, the creative side of me. Anybody who's got a creative side, I know you can relate to becoming obsessed with what you're doing, and feeling that drive to make your art, as it were. Back in 2002, when I started getting into acting, I had an opportunity to do television and film. There was a lot more of that available in the North Texas area than there is now. There's starting to pick back up a little bit, but most of the opportunities that I had available to me were back then. And so actually being able to see television or film made from behind the scenes, seeing how the crew set up and how they worked and all that, I found very interesting. I didn't really get to study it as closely as I wanted to, but I always found that the actual making of the film and television very interesting. I'm the type of person that whenever I would go and buy a DVD or something, I'd always take a look at the back of it. Is there some kind of making of, what are the kind of their special features are there, that kind of thing. I've always been very fascinated, I guess you might say, by how the sausage is made. I mean, what goes on behind the scenes, what goes into the making of. And I'm getting a lot deeper into that now, of course, with these shorts and with The Orphan. It's really kind of just, I've always had the urge to be a storyteller, and through acting I've been able to do that. Actually, years and years ago, when I was much younger, I tried my hand at writing a little bit, and I'm pretty sure my scribblings are packed away somewhere now. That was never very good. I just didn't have the knack for that, but I found with acting I did have something of a knack for it. And I always wanted to do more than just the stage work or the in front of the camera work. I wanted to get behind the camera and give that a try. I've thought about trying my hand at directing in theater, but it's just not the way I want to do it. Like I said, there's just the way you can tell a story so much better, I feel, through film and television. There's so much that's left out on stage that I would want to be able to fill in those gaps, and I know I couldn't do it. And with film and television I can. Of course, you're limited by by budget that way. I mean, there's so much I want to do with The Orphan, for instance. There's so much of it I can see in my head, and it's like, oh, I want to shoot this way, and I want this to look like this, and I want this and that and the other. And I know I'm not going to get all of that because there's just not the budget for it. We have to raise the money to make the film in the first place, and I just don't think that we can. Yeah, I'd love to have $1 million budget, but I can't see raising $1 million for this film, especially with us not having the experience and the background and the proof from other films and such, that we could go to somebody and say, hey, here's all of this, and we need $1 million, and this is why it'd be justified to give it to us. We just can't do that kind of thing. But I know there's a lot we can do with it. There's a lot of things that I'm very excited about we're going to be doing, and I know that with the work we're going to be doing in post-production, Jacob's got a lot of really good experience now. He'll do the link in the blog post to this video that he's done. It's with a friend of his who's a musician and living and working in New York right now. Anyways, you really should take a look at it. It's really well done. He's been getting a lot of really positive response from it. But there's, like I said, there's a lot of things that I'd love to be able to do, but I know we're not going to be able to. But within the limits we're going to have, I think we're going to come up with a really good film, a really good, a really good film that's going to be very enjoyable to watch, and something that I think we're going to be very proud of. I think that's really about all we have to cover right now. If you want to reach us, of course, email is realorphanmovie@gmail.com. We're on social media, The Orphan Movie, and that's for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And of course, you can find our website, theorphanmovie.com, which has had some changes made. There's our email list, which we're going to start picking up on pretty soon here and sending out things a little more regularly, because we're going to actually be in the process of doing things. You can sign up on the website there. There's a link there, and we'll get you put on the list and make sure that you get those. But I think that pretty well wraps it up for us this time around, though, like I said. And I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break, but we are going to get get a couple of these in the can, as it were, and make sure that we're not taking a break. Even though I'm taking a break, we're not going to be taking a break from uploading the vlogs. So until next time, we'll see you here on theorphanmovie.com.